All right, thank you to that wonderful panel. We appreciate all of our partners. So our final speaker of the night is Carey Ofahengaue. She is a Samoan-Irish veteran entrepreneur with an incredibly diverse and lengthy list of business ventures under her belt. Currently, Carey is the owner or the co-owner of several businesses, including Layaway Ladies, a specialty floral business, Crossroads Youth Services, which is a foster care business, Crossroads Contract Company, a new Utah construction company, and Recava, which is a kava cafe in Utah County. She was born and raised in Layaway, Hawaii, and when I asked her what she would most want people to know about her, the first thing she said is that she is a Red Raider for life. Carey has 7 children and 3 grandchildren and lives in Orem, Utah with her husband of 29 years and is one of the most charismatic and entertaining people that I know. So I'm really excited to have her here today.
Well, this is going. Okay. Hello, everyone.
I introduced you, so you're good to just go.
Give me something to talk about. Throw something at me so I can.
Okay, so
I missed your introduction, sorry.
I would love for you to talk about our overcoming failure, starting your own business and not being like what it takes to do it and the courage it takes to do it and how you overcome fears.
Got it. Okay, I apologize, I wasn't prepared for that. I thought we were doing more of a question answering kind of thing.
We can do that.
So that's kind of why I was like, oh, I'll just go off a whim. But
I have plenty to ask you.
Okay, good. Because that will help me more to kind of stay focused on what you guys are wanting from me. Anyway, she did the introduction. I'm not sure what was said. I didn't hear it. But I own several businesses. Got married while I was in high school, so did everything backwards that normal people in life don't do to starting off. And I think that my attitude and whatnot is a go-getter. In a sense, maybe I only have a high school diploma, but you know, I can really do this, or I'm not afraid. And I'm definitely not afraid to fail. I think failing is part of life, and that's how we become better. And so if we didn't fail, I mean, you know, we wouldn't learn, right? And so that's definitely not a really big obstacle. I'm not trying to say like I'm perfect and I'm not afraid of anything, but when it comes to failing, it's definitely not on my first things to think about. I'm usually thinking about the bigger picture at the end. Then I'm thinking about how it's gonna look if I fail, like my hairdo right now. I didn't realize that people have different head shapes until I shaved my head, and everybody comments on my head shape, and I thought, whoa, if I thought about that, I would have never cut my head, because who knows what my head shape looks like, right? So those are kind of examples of you just dive in, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, move on to the next. I would say is kind of it's kind of a positive attitude to have. And something that just keeps motivating, you know, so that you don't ever give up on whatever it is you're going for, you know. And I don't really know what I'm going to be when I grow up, but
tell us the different things that you've been already and what you're doing right now.
Well, I me and my husband own Crossroads Youth Services. We're a private child placing agency in the state of Utah, and we've been doing that for 15 years. And you know, you'd be surprised how many foster children there are here in Utah, and it's been a very rewarding career. We've had many years of success, and you know, sadness that comes along with seeing children in foster care and whatnot, but very rewarding, I would say. My second business I opened up 13 years ago was Layaway. My sister is my partner, and we do, you know, I'm born and raised in Hawaii, so I had Crossroads, which is my serious and can sometimes be depressing and sad business, depending on the situation. And I wanted something that was fun, that was, you know, that would promote aloha and be fun. And so Layaway was that. And so we specialize in flower lace. We ship throughout the United States. And that's kind of brought us a lot of joy. And with it being COVID and whatnot, we've been very, very minimal. We've actually just opened up again to do fresh flower lace this past week. We've been shut all the way since February, so it was really hard. But we've grown our funeral side. So we do funeral wreaths too, custom funeral wreaths and whatnot. But that's, it's, you know, it's working with flowers are fun, you know, whatever the occasion is. So, and then I'm currently in the process of, I just got my general contracting license. And those are one of those things where you just do it and you're not really sure what you're gonna do with it, but like you have an idea. So me and my sister did that. We're separate companies, but we're doing it together. Contracting, we're gonna start within Utah and then work our way out to federal governments. Small, you know, business, women-owned business, WOSB certified. And you know, it promotes women. And so we thought if we had our general, this was the idea behind it, that people would take us a little more serious. Speaking of men, most men are general contractors or working in the industry of contracting. And we thought, you know, if we had a little bit of, you know, licensure or whatever, people would be, you know, thinking we were real, if that makes sense. But really, I mean, you know, right now we're just going with it. So I haven't ventured down there. We have a couple bids in right now locally. And like I said, we just started that, like just within this month.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
How do you juggle all of those different things?
You know what? It's like how a mother juggles 7 children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just do it, right? You have a lot of kids or you don't have a lot of kids and you work and you go to school. There's a lot of moms that go to school, that work, that have children, you know, husbands, that's like another 5 kids, and you juggle it and you just do it. I don't know how I do it. You know, that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've been doing funeral wreaths all day from morning till literally when I got here.
Yeah.
We're delivering them tonight. And so, you know, how do you do it? You just do it. And I think that's also the process of you know, can and can't. You know, if you put too much thought into it, right, you're never gonna get it done because it's, oh, what if this happens? Yeah. And, you know, I'm not really a what ifer. I'm more of a let's just do it. And again, if it fails, I'm okay with that. I'm okay if things fail. And have I failed? Of course. I've failed a million times. But, you know, half the world don't know you failed. So, you know, you just stand up and put a smile on and keep moving and nobody even knows. So that's the truth, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I just had something good and I don't remember what it was. Do you have, what would be your best advice to somebody who's starting out or wants to start a business? Or what has been something that you've learned from doing this that maybe people don't think about?
Well, here's something that people don't think about, and you'd be surprised. A lot of you are going to be like, oh, that's kind of old. But, you know, we're in a time and generation right now where we have Google. We have YouTube. And so if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to, you know, I have a certificate from the University of YouTube, and trust me, I can Google that in 2 seconds and find 400 ways to change a wash machine outlet plug or a cord and do it myself. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, my husband will stand there and hold his flashlight and be like, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? I mean, he doesn't care to look at YouTube, but, you know, there's just not, and I'm talking about from writing a grant, from writing a proposal, how to do things. You know, I mean, in the contract world, I've probably pretty much done everything except for heavy machine operator, which I could probably YouTube that too and learn how to do.
I have no doubt.
I need a crane or something. I probably could learn in about a day or so. But, you know, really, don't be afraid. And your questions, you literally can write on Google or search, you know, how do I do this? You know, something that I'm very passionate about, it's pretty funny, but I am, is I would like to open a dog groomer, you know, place, because Utah doesn't have any really bougie, nice ones. And, you know, for those of you who know me, I have a dog, I have 2, but I have one particular that I travel with everywhere. And you know, I go to the most awesomest dog grooming places all over the country. And Utah doesn't have anything like that. And I'm thinking, man, I could be the first that could, you know, because if you're a pet lover, you know, people, they spend a lot of money on their pets. It's like stupid.
For sure.
And you know, my husband's Tongan, so he's a little bit like dog, but he's gotten to love the dog. But you know, I had him book an appointment for the dog to go to the groomers, and he was like, it's a week and a half wait. I said, I know, that's why I said book it, hurry. And then it was $70, and he was like, I can't believe people would pay, and there was a waiting list. I said, I need to go into that business, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you find things that you're passionate about, that you love, and that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And even if it's as stupid as a dog grooming place, which I have no desire to wash anybody's dog, but I would like to, you know, design it, set it up, make it how I would like my dog taken care of, and so forth. So, yeah, my advice would be just Google it if you have a question on what you're not sure of doing, but ultimately find something that you're really passionate about, that you know that it always helps if there's a niche, right? I mean, you know, you wouldn't want to just open up any old other McDonald's because there's probably 4 or 5 right next door, but something that our world maybe, our community, even our world may need, or something like that, if that makes sense. That might get your mind, you know, thinking about things that are necessities that we don't really think about, right?
Yeah, for sure. Talk a little bit about working with your family. What's it like to?
You know what? I have 2 sisters, and we're a year apart, and we're extremely close. And I would say usually the family thing doesn't work. It really doesn't, because because it's not the sisters, it's the spouses. You know, it goes out to them, and then it's like, you know, who came up with the idea, and it gets kind of crazy. But with me and my sister being in business, we kind of have a strict code. I know my husband won't be happy to hear this, or my brother-in-law, but basically, whatever my dealings are with my sister in our business, that's between us. You know, yes, I hear a lot of, and that's fine. You know, that's, you know, my husband wants to vet whatever, my brother-in-law wants to vet whatever, and that's fine. But you know, this is my sister, this is my business, or our business, and let's leave it at that. You know, because me and my sister get along great. You know, and I think most importantly for families that are working together is find what's your strength. You know, me and my sister Summer, we're not exactly the same. We're completely different, actually. Summer's creativity is a completely different creative side than what I have. And so you find the strengths and weaknesses. For example, I'm very paperwork oriented, contract, you know, that kind of stuff. Behind the fame and glory, I'm the guy that's behind the desk that makes sure all of our stuff is in order. You know what I mean? And then Summer's the best seller in the world. I mean, you know, she could sell ice to Eskimos. And so, you know, Summer's more of the front person. I'm more of the back. Summer's definitely a lot more friendlier than I am. I'm friendly, but I'm more reserved. And so, you know, we play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. So obviously she's not going to put me in the front line to sell something, because I'm going to totally be like, did you want to buy something? You know, and so I think that helps too, is sitting down and prioritizing, what are your strengths? What are your strengths? And so for 13, 14 years, we've worked very well together. And I know that a lot of family-run businesses can't say that. I know that a lot of things come into factor and whatnot, but you know, that's at least my story for my business, you know, but everyone's different.
How did you get you have so many different interests. How did you decide what you're going to do professionally?
I'm still growing up. I have no idea what I want to be when I grow up. My niece just sent me a thing. I saw she put a face on a Facebook post saying that she's taking a free class at MATC. They're offering free work to learn to work or something. It's called a program. And so she's doing like dentists. A class on dentistry for like however many weeks, and then you get a certificate and you're like a dentist helper, hygienist, or whatever you are. I don't know what they call them, but that's what she is. And so I asked her, and okay, here's the stupidest thing. I am already so busy.
Yeah.
So she texted me today going, Auntie, did you look at the thing? And I was like, I did. And I mean, I could be a plumber or I could be an electrician. Like they had all these programs. And I'm like, why the hell am I looking at this? Because I don't even have any time to go. But then, you know, first of all, free right now. And I thought, free to be an apprentice for an electrician? I mean, it's only 4 weeks. I mean, I could do a lot of electrical work around the house, you know? YouTube can only show you so much, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm constantly looking. You know, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. I say that all the time. Like, maybe I want to be this when I grow up. The truth is, I'm constantly interested in learning. You know, a year ago, you could have asked me and it would have been something different.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of go where the wind blows me and hope, like I said, I hope it works out, you know? So, I don't know. I'm very flighty like that.
How do you keep from burning out? Because I feel like you are just like always doing 95 things at least.
You know what? Again, it goes back to doing things you like to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing things you don't want to do, then you're like, oh, not that again. But the truth is that I get involved in projects that I love to do, that I feel like are going to benefit me growing as far as what I want to do or what the end result is. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm tired. I mean, I was in Florida just 2 days ago and I slept the whole entire trip. I mean, I was on the beach, my scalp got burnt. And so, you know, I do rest, but I mean, I'm more happy when I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know, moving around, getting things done, being productive, and, you know, I wouldn't know what to do, I think, if I just sat around. I like to be busy, you know.
Have you ever had to deal with financial insecurity, and how do you balance not like needing money and needing a job with wanting to do your own thing and having that scariness?
Good question. Now I am fighting the financial battle every day, just like you and everyone else in the world. Do you know what I mean? That's no difference. I believe that I have enough sources of income from multiple sources that allow me to make another source, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make up something else. But I like I said, I have several jobs that those are my money makers, and I set those in place first because even though I want to make lays all day, the truth is lays don't pay the bills. You know what I mean? Or funerals for that matter. And so you know, I have to balance what's important versus what I want to play with. And my husband has a job, a regular job, if you will, a real job. And so, you know, with that, because we need insurance, so that's where insurance comes from.
Right.
So, you know, don't get me mistaken that I'm, you know, all financial, all knowing. No. I'm just like everybody else, but I do have multiple sources. So I'm allowed to be comfortable in sense of venturing and doing something else with not having to truly worry about what's going to happen.
But you have been in that position, right?
Oh, definitely.
So how did you overcome that? Because I, like, knowing some of your story, like, from where you started to where you are, that's a big gap. How did you overcome that?
Well, I will tell you that, I mean, we were not making anything. It took me 1 year to open Crossroads. And, you know, times were hard. But I knew what the end result would be financially and just everything. And
How?
So, because I knew what I was getting into, meaning I knew what foster care was all about. I knew what the pay rate was. I knew if I just did this, and this, I would get X amount of dollars here. And I was able to really focus on, okay, if I...
And how did you figure that out? Because I think that's something that people struggle with.
Well,
is
again...
seeing that big picture. You're a big picture person.
Yeah.
But if you're not a big picture person, how do you figure that out?
Okay, so let's start back from ground zero then, as far as, you know, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So it starts off with, okay, I want to open a business. Well, is this a business that's going to be profitable? See, so one of the things that with Crossroads, my business now, is that, you know, I'm contracted to the state. So money is going to be a guarantee. As long as I can place children, I will guarantee get paid. So, and there's always children coming in, right? And so I already knew all of this. So that was what was helping, as far as it was something that I wasn't gonna have to go look for work and like try to, you know, scrounge up, you know, the worst I have to do is I have to find parents. You know what I mean? I am very picky about my parents, who we bring in, and whatnot. And so we're not a huge company, and I choose it to be that way because I like to travel. And if I have too much responsibility, then obviously I won't be able to take off when I want to. But if I keep my numbers nice and to a minimal where I can handle everything, I mean, I have closed cases in China, and I mean all over when I'm on vacation, because all I needed was the internet.
Yeah.
And you know, a phone, and just talk to whatever the case may be here in Utah. And so you know, I like my freedom. And so I think, as you're asking your question, really, you know, as you find things you like we wanted to do the Cobble Bar. I'll give you an example. Okay, the Cobble Bar.
Oh, which we have not talked about yet. So.
Oh, okay. Well, so we have a Cava, and we said not bar, not bar. It's cafe.
Right.
And you know, that's a real gamble, because I'll tell you why it's a gamble. Because many of you know of Cava bars. I think they're more referred to as bars, if you will. Here in Utah, there's a couple of them. And so many of you are thinking, well, it's not that big of a deal. Well, we didn't want that type of Cava bar, if you will. We wanted, we were going for the Starbucks appeal, you know, because we weren't targeting Polynesians. No offense to us, but we wanted to target other groups, not just Polynesians. And the Cava bars that we had been to, locally and outside, if they are catered to Polynesian, I mean, it's a kalapu. And you know, I'm half Polynesian, and I'm comfortable going to places like that where there's really no lighting, it's pretty dark, there's a lot of old men in there, but you know, it's just not my scene. I'm not anxious to go to a Cobble Bar because I don't really feel like, where am I going to fit in? You know what I mean? And so we wanted a place that was going to be for everybody. So even if you are Polynesian, you're going to come. I mean, you would feel welcome. But most of us Polynesians know where we want to be. So I mean, you know, again, our demographics is mainly white. You know, or non-Polynesian, and that's kind of what we were going after. And that was a gamble, because how do we know it's going to turn out? You know, Polynesians know Cobble Bars, and they're more like kalapus. And here we're going to open up a Starbucks Cobble Bar, and like, what if Howleys or Mormons or whatever it is don't know what that is and don't understand it? And what if it's a flop? That, I mean, that is true. It really was our concern, because you know, Utah's a little behind the times, where Colorado has many, and they're really nice Cobble places. Yeah. You know, Seattle has many, Florida has a lot of them, and again, not catered to Polynesians. And so we wanted that here. So I would proudly say that we are one of the first, if not the first, to open up an establishment that's like this one, that's not just, you know, when you walk in, I mean, other than the decorations that I had put up, you know, there's a Polynesian vibe to it. Have you been there yet?
I haven't.
Oh.
But I need to.
We have a website, so for those of you who haven't been, it's Ricava Cafe. And anyway, so you know, when we talk about failing or not failing, I mean, and then right when we opened, 3 months later, COVID hit. Right. So we were shut down for months.
Right.
And that hurt, because it's like, here we got a business, we're paying for the building.
Right.
You know, we invested all this money in the remodel and making it a certain type of look, if you will, yeah. And then shut down. You know, and so that was really hard. So we are still only open a few nights a week, still, till right now. So I mean, you know, and that's hard, you know, but again, we're hopeful that as things pick up, and shockingly, surprisingly, we still are busy. Yeah. Even, and we do deliveries. And guys, these aren't Polynesians. These are all the demographics that we wanted to cater to. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, again, it's not all happy ending. I don't know what next year's going to look like. It's not like we're raking in millions. So or thousands for that matter. I don't know why I went straight to millions. I'm hoping for millions, but you know, we're making ends meet is the bottom line. So we're okay, but we're, you know, my husband's mentioned a couple of times, maybe we should shut it down. I'm like, no, let's just wait a little longer. It's making enough to pay for itself.
Yeah.
If we can just get over this hump, then we'll be fine. You know, so we're riding a dreadful ride right now, but I feel hopeful that in the end, I think we'll be okay. I don't know.
Do you have employees for these businesses, or do you do most of the work?
Yeah,
Like
no,
you and
no,
your
yeah,
siblings?
just mainly us right now. So me and my sister run the lay shop, single-handedly, all lay orders, all, we have a sister store that all of our lays funnel through, so they keep regular store hours, so we just put our lays there. Technically, so we don't, you know, I don't know if we can commit to anything, we're very flighty like that, so, but so we have a store that takes care of our lays, and then if there's any other orders, I mean, we personally take care of them. Recava, right now, our children are working there. I mean, it's not, we wanted to hire people, but then, yeah, we're not open enough.
Right.
Or steady enough to, you know, how do you say, hey, can you work like 10 hours or 4 hours a week? Like, that's not cool. So
Yeah.
right now we've got our children working, our two oldest kids are working there. And then with Crossroads, I have a staff that works for me. For, you know, I oversee everything, but I do have a staff for Crossroads.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What experience have we have some people that I'm sure are hiring employees. What would you look for in a good employee, or do you have any like red flags or anything like that that you just wouldn't hire, or how does that work for you?
Well, I've gone through many employees with Crossroads, and it's very hit and miss. And when you're good, I have employees that have been there for 10 years plus. And then when you're not, you leave pretty quick, only because you realize that it's not what you wanted. Not so much me saying you're done, because everybody has a shot, you know what I mean? A fair shot, and I explained from the beginning how it's gonna work and what the junk side of it is, what's the good side of it is, and you gotta balance it. And that's the problem. If people don't stay, it's because they can't figure out how to balance it.
Right.
And then they kind of just are like, yeah, this is not for me. So that's in speaking with Crossroads. With Layaway, we hire, because it's seasonal mainly, we hire lots of help. Usually it's just word of mouth, who wants to come in and help out. And again, you either work out or you don't. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're not going to show up, then obviously I don't need you, so moving to the next person, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't really had an issue there because we're hands-on, like I said. And then with Recover, it's our kids, so I mean, we fire them every other week, bring them back when we need them.
Yeah. Is that time? What time?
8:30.
Oh, yes. Do you have anything, I'm just trying to think what.
You know, something I will tell you real quick, just because I was thinking about it, is a different avenue of one of the reasons why we opened Recava. The word Recava came from recovery, and then it just was short for Recava. We've had a son that has been struggling with addiction and had been in and out of rehab. And our Polynesian people, you know, we don't really talk about, you know, drug abuse. We don't talk about those kinds of things that are real. You know, it's kind of embarrassing or shame. And my sister, who's my partner, also as well struggled with drug abuse and is now 3 years sober. She just celebrated her 3 years. And we're gonna start AA meetings at Recava this month, towards the end of the month. My son will be hosting them, which I think is super important. And again, this is not just we're hoping that with Recava, even though I say we don't cater to Polynesians, but we're hoping to open a door for our Polynesians. Do you know what I mean? To have a place to go, because so many, it's pretty sad when you think about how many people we've lost, Polynesian people we've lost through drugs and whatnot. You know, where was the, you know, and we can't blame the family, because really what do they know?
Yeah.
You know, and so that's something we're looking into too, to hopefully we can reach out for the community and be a little bit more supportive on those who are struggling, Polynesian or not. But that's a passion that me and my husband, as well as my sister and her husband, have for our Polynesian people.
How have you, I feel like in the Polynesian community, there's a lot of boxes that people are supposed to fit in.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do a really good job of navigating that and just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't give a rat's about what anybody thinks about me or how I run things or do things. That's my personality. Now, we have a sister, an older sister, that's very like, oh, don't say that. Why would you have, you know, we call her our howdy sister.
Yeah.
Because she would never, I mean, just some of the things we do, she's like, oh my gosh, she's embarrassed. Or like, you can't do that, or, and we're like, oh, who cares? But I think from one, it's a personality thing. Number two is, I'm from Hawaii. I'm from a melting pot where, you know, I don't see color. Everybody's the same to me. I didn't even know there was a Samoan Tongan thing until I came to Utah. When people would say, oh, you're married to a Tongan. And I'm like, and what? And they're like, oh, I thought Samoans and Tongans don't get along. I said, we don't. Me and him fight all the time, you know? And so, yeah, I didn't understand that because I thought, we're Polynesians. Why would we ever fight? So you know, I crack my jokes all the time about Tongans, for those of you who know me, but no different than with Samoans. But the thing is that, yeah, I really love everybody. That's the truth. I don't really care what you are. Yeah. You know, if you're a nice person, if you're kind, and you want to better yourself or do good to others, that's all that matters to me. And I think that's how it really should be for everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not just because you're this or that. And you know, I would think that's how I would like to be thought of.
Have you come up against any resistance to any of the things that you're doing from the Polynesian community because you do things differently than what's normal?
I am definitely sure behind our backs, oh yeah, people got a lot of things to say. But again, I do not care. You know, you don't pay my bills. Right. Oh, I'm sure. You know, Polynesians, we're like crabs in a bucket. You know what I mean? And it's super unfortunate that we're like that. But I also think that that's taught. You know what I mean? That's taught at home. Yeah. And what people don't understand is me and my sister, and even my husband, we're really good at, dude, if I have it, you can have it too. You know, let's lift each other up. We can all have it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's so much to go around. Like even another lay business. I mean, they pop up all the time. You know, just seasonal, you know, kids bringing lays or whatever. Hey, there is plenty in this world to share and uplift each other, to be like, get it, you know what I mean? So do we run into, probably not to our faces. I can't remember a time that anybody would want to insult me, because really, I'm not hurting you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's the truth. I don't hurt anybody. And, you know, I may have my opinions, and I'm very, you know, vocal about how I feel about certain things, and you know, take it as it is, right? And other than that, you know, so the answer is no, not to my face, but I'm sure behind my back a lot of it. But oh well, you know? Yeah.
Can you think of anything from your professional life? Like, what are some of the big like milestones or life-changing kinds of things that have happened because you're an entrepreneur? Or like, what have you been able to do that you might not have been able to do otherwise because...
Well, with being an entrepreneur, definitely travel. Me and my husband, we're doing the 7 wonders of the world. We have a few more wonders to go. And we would have done another one this year or maybe 2, but because of COVID, we haven't been able to. But I think traveling. You know, I think that if I had to work a 9 to 5, and the truth is, poor T, he works like a regular job. I mean, it's very flexible, but, you know, he likes to tell me, I gotta go to work. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, okay. And I don't even want to say what he does because you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, really? But anyway, he does have a job. But I think it's the flexibility. And I think that more than anything of these ideas that I come up with, it's almost not what it is, it's almost what's gonna give me the most freest time. You know, that I don't have to like be somewhere at a certain time and like, I gotta dress up, I gotta do this, I gotta make sure this is done. I want to be, you know, when I wake up, I take my kids to school, and then I think, what am I gonna do today? Well, I'm gonna mow the yard. I'm gonna, you know, this things that, you know, I'm working on, right now my newest project is working on an RV. I know, so random. I've been remodeling 2 RVs because I bought one and then I realized I didn't like it. Okay guys, this goes to show you about changing your mind and failure. I bought an RV and then like a month later I realized, oh, it's not the RV I wanted. I wanted a driving RV. So I tell my husband, I'm gonna buy a driving RV, but I'm gonna sell the other one. He said, well, sell the other one first. Don't buy another one because you already bought one. I said, okay, Summer, do you and me want to buy an RV together? That way we don't have to get my husband involved because he already told me no because he said we already bought one, which we did. So Summer was like, I conned her and she was like, she probably only did it to shut me up. So we bought one under Layaway, guys. Layaway bought this RV, so T couldn't say nothing. And so now guys, I have 2 RVs sitting at my house. They're both being remodeled right now. One's going a little faster than the other because the driving one, we were trying to make it for Yellowstone, but it closed already. I couldn't, I had to balance between traveling to Florida or staying home and working on the RV, and I was like, oh, Florida sounds really good. I left. Anyway, but so me and Summer are remodeling right now as we speak. The RV will be ready very soon and we will, I don't know, drive around. I mean, that's another thing. We don't even know why we bought the damn RV. It was because I told Summer that we were going to take our kids and we were going to see the world. We were going to go to Yellowstone. I painted this really nice picture. And so she fell for it. And so I guess when the RV's done, we're going to hit the road. I have no idea. We were going to do a vlogging video thing. Yeah. And we have a camera guy that was going to come with us. I mean, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to have time for that. But anyway, guys. I mean, you know, the traveling sisters, I don't know, on the RV, I don't know what's going to happen there, but yeah, that's something totally different, but I forgot about that, the RV. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, when if I have too much time to think about things, and I'm like, we should buy an RV. And you know what I told my husband? He was like, what? And I was like, honey, you know you hate camping. This way we could have it, you know, glamping. Right. So I brainwashed him, bought it on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, honey, for you. And he was like, oh, that's all I really wanted an RV. And then just a month later, I don't like this one. And he was like, oh. Yeah, so it's okay to change your mind, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then that makes you flexible. And then, you know, eventually I could sell it.
Had you had any experience with RVs? Or you
None.
Just... Oh, okay.
Yeah. YouTube University, guys. I just Googled what's the best RV to think. What do we got to do to winterize it? Where do you take it? How do you dump it? All of that. So I've come to the conclusion, nobody's going to poop or pee in it. You got to go out to the wilderness or go find a bathroom because I already saw how you have to clean it. And yeah, no, that's not me. So you go ahead and do your thing out there. You can run the water because that's just gray water. Right. You can flush that anywhere. So, but there's no using number 1 or 2 with toilet paper. No way. So, you know, I managed YouTube to find which RVs are the best. And then I follow all these crazy people who redone their RV, you know, like are stripping it down, and so basically we're following that. So I mean, the whole thing is just going to be the most craziest RV you ever saw in your whole life, from wallpaper to all kinds.
Is it just you doing this, or
no? Me and Summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my parents here right now, so I have them helping me, but because, you know, I bribed them too, saying, if you guys want to come on a trip with us, you have to do your part. So my mom's been painting, so we might let them in. Yeah. It's a clubhouse. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no experiences with the RV. The first time I drove an RV was test driving the one that we bought.
Gosh. Yeah. Again, like, how do you juggle the time because that's not like a small task.
No, well, I mean, the RV's been sitting there for over a couple months already. And then now that it's getting cold, it's like, we've got to get the RV down before it gets too cold. But guess what, guys? The RV has heater, so
yes, so do we
on it. Yeah, we can do it in the winter. We don't even need to worry. So, no, we are busy. I mean, it's sat for months. And now just in the last couple weeks, we've been, you know, chipping away at it because we really want to go somewhere. Yeah. It's just, you know, and now our sister lives in Florida, so we're like, we'll just do a road trip to Florida.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
stop along the way and see all the whatever is out there and do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan. I know it is super kind of random, but a lot of people are quarantining and staying at home, and so,
Yeah.
don't you want to watch a bunch of
Take
bullhead
your home with you and go
Yeah.
do something.
Right? So, yeah, that's our newest news project.
Yeah.
That we're working on.
What have you learned from traveling?
That we are pretty blessed to live where we are. That is the honest truth. And even and when I say here, I'm talking about Utah. I'm talking about America. I mean, I've been all over the world, and I mean, I can't say I've been to a better place than America. That's the honest truth. Fascinating to go to other places to see how they live. But I mean, 9 of the 10 countries I've been to don't really have toilet paper, so I'm not really, you gotta bring your own, and so that already kind of grosses me out. So I mean, just all the things that we have here, like, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes me appreciate home, a lot more, because there's a lot of people that go without, and so yeah. But I like to travel. I like to see different things, taste different foods, and yeah.
Do you have any regrets? Anything that you've done that you wish you had done differently, or that you would do differently
Now.
in the future? Yeah. Speaking about your businesses.
Maybe started younger. I mean, I don't know how much younger or more I could have started, but my kids, I have several kids that are excellent entrepreneurs, and they're very young. And that makes me happy, because they're going to fail, they're going to succeed, they're going to fail, and then by the time they're my age, I mean, they should be, I'm hoping they'll be millionaires. I mean, that's the ultimate goal here, right? Is to get our kids better than us, so that we can just kick back. And so, I don't have too many regrets as far as business or family. I started extremely young. And I don't even know if I have a regret about that, other than, I didn't go to college. I didn't do things that normal people might have had a chance to do. But yet I don't regret that. That's not something I regret. In fact, I feel like I'm more of a positive advocate or role model, if you will, for women that get themselves in situations that are unexpected at a young age, that even though I'm staying with my husband and I'm with him still almost 30 years, I could have done it without him? Probably. But, nice to have him there, but I'm just saying that, hey, those are excuses. We can all do it. And if there's a will, there's a way. I mean, we live in a society that has, government help. I mean, where are you going to find that? Anywhere else? You're not. You know what I mean? And so those are stepping stones, not things that are going to keep you down forever, but to help you. And so, am I a product of food stamps and Medicaid? You bet I am. I got no problem saying that. But now I pay my debt back, because I was on all those. I used those things, but I didn't stay on them forever, because, there's something about Medicaid, food stamps, and whatnot. Sometimes we get trapped.
Yeah.
We get comfortable, like, ooh, it's easier this way, it's better. And I'm not hating on anybody that's on that whatsoever. In fact, I think we're so blessed to have that. You know what I mean? That resource, right? But at the same time, while you're getting help yourself. If you're getting help, then enroll into school and get free education, or get your Pell Grants and all those things that you qualify for, so that you can better yourself, so that when you're at a point of I want to make money now, then you use the government, you use the help that you got, but now you're going to move forward, and then you're going to pay it back. I mean, meaning pay it forward with your contributions, right? And so young moms, old moms, whoever's stuck in that, I can't do it. You know, I have many friends that are, you know, on assistance, and that's the question they ask. Well, is it gonna affect my benefits? And I'm like, wow, that's what we're programmed. You know, we really are. We're programmed to stay where you're at.
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself. You know, because you're gonna fail. And you know, failing is not an option. And a failing should not be an option for anyone, because even if you do fail, it's a learning experience. You know, okay, that's not what I'm gonna do. And so, you know, I kind of went off on that subject, but you know, I'm not ashamed of saying that I was on assistance or whatnot, but I think that also molded me the person that I am now. And that's
How did you make that jump? Because I think you're absolutely right. That is like a fear, is that, well, if I do this, then I'll lose my benefits, and then how do I provide for my family for the next however long?
Yeah, no, it is, and so one of the things that I had is my parents helped out while we were transitioning, because you know the Medicaid and food stamps, they're all about you make a penny more than whatever, you're cut.
Yeah.
And so you got to kind of balance that, you know, of that fear, which I know all about that fear, but at the same time, what we were doing, my parents had helped out to I remember paying our insurance and stuff to get our companies opened and whatnot. That really helped. And then again, once we took off,
Yeah.
and then never looked back again. And I'm so grateful for Medicaid, food stamps, and the whole 9 yards. But I'm grateful in a position that I'm at now. Don't get me wrong, I wish my kids had free lunch, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but so I think, so that's the mindset. You know, overcome your fears, and where there's a will, there's a way. And I believe the little I heard from the speakers previous to me was there are so many grants and things that believe it or not, but places want to see you succeed.
Right.
They don't want to see you, you know, living off welfare. They want to see you, but again, if you don't know how to Google or research or something, then you're kind of a sitting duck. So how bad do you want it? You know, that's the end result, right? How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And if you don't really want it and you're happy just, you know, working a 9 to 5 and listening to somebody else tell you what to do and where you can come and go, then maybe that's for you. And we all have friends that just rather have just a job that they can count on, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I respect that totally. My personality, that's not me.
Yeah.
I want to be free, and I want to be creative and think of things and make up things and whatnot. And so, you know, I think you gotta just within yourself, right? Think about, what am I gonna do? You know, you started off with doing a simple drawing, and then look, no, but seriously, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at what it's led to.
Right.
You know, and so it's stuff that's crazy like that. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
You know what I
We
mean?
laugh about that all the time.
Who would have thought? You know, and here's a fun fact that in my earlier days, me and my sisters did all the Gold's Gyms murals. So I did murals forever.
Really?
I love painting and drawing. I haven't done it for many, many years because now I'm busy doing something else. But I always said, one day I'm going to go back to painting.
Yeah.
You know, and doing murals. But the funny thing was, is that was just a chapter of my life. Now I moved on. You know?
How did that come about? Like, I'm just so fascinated by your story because you just do so many seemingly unrelated things.
I mean, totally unrelated. I mean, they're not even related at all. Well, I love to draw. So what happened is I started doing murals in my home. I did my boys' room, a Lion King room, and then I realized, oh, I really can draw. Like, I've always drawn, but not like, I've never painted anything. And then one day, I said, I'm gonna do the Lion King. And my husband's like, okay. I literally got the book, looked at the book, and I painted a whole Lion King scene on the room. And I was like, wow, who knew?
So good at this.
Yeah, I am good. So I did another room. No, it was literally like that. It was the craziest thing. Like I had a gift all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then the more I used it, then it became better. And then the gyms hired me to do all the daycares. Me and my sister would come and help, and whoever else joined the ride for that one. It was pretty funny. We did these huge murals all over. We did like maybe 20. I mean, it was a lot, and there was
that
a time.
Is so
yeah,
many.
and so I got paid for doing them, and then my husband went on to the NFL and whatnot, and so I stopped doing that. And then I did a few more murals, but just for my house.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know. I just stopped doing them. just because I did something else. I went to school. I got a medical certificate. I worked labor and delivery for 3 years, delivering babies. My specialty was C-section.
What?
I know. 3 years I did that. Why? Because I thought at some point in my life I was going to be an RN. But I said, you know what? Before I go to school for RN, I'm going to go take a smaller class, medical assistant, and make sure that medical's right for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did my medical thing, got my certificate, and got a job at the hospital, labor and delivery, which was unheard of. And I became a tech there. It was the best job ever in the world. I loved it. But then I realized as I was working there that, wait a minute, nurses really get paid like $20-something an hour. I said they're responsible for so many things.
Yeah.
And then they were in lawsuits all the time and then charting like way after their shift was over. And then so the more I thought about that, I thought, this is not for me.
Better not.
I don't want to, yeah, I don't think I'll make a good nurse. So you know what, I quit, I ended the hospital. That's when I opened Crossroads, about that time. And yeah, but you make sure, my husband's family, you know, Tongans, they're crazy. I'm a doctor to them. So I'm like, guys, I only work labor and delivery. I only know vaginas and babies, so don't ask me for it. But you know, they're like, call her, she knows.
Right.
Call Carey.
Right.
Something's wrong, Papa, call him, she knows. I'm like, oh my gosh, I told your friend like 1,000 times, like, I'm not a doctor. And so they're pretty funny, but that gave me the experience, again, more confidence, right? That I feel a little bit more confident with maybe talking to people, empathizing. I'm not a very good empathizer, but I've gotten it because I worked in the medical field and people who were giving birth or whatever, right? And so those are just part of little pieces of me that have made me who I am today. So that's what I'm saying. I just taking what I can get and keep adding to the resume.
A growing pile
Yeah.
of things that you...
A growing pile of things, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't really, there's a lot of things and that's just some of them. But there's some crazy things I've done in my lifetime that we have family jokes about. This is before YouTube, guys. My brakes went out. And we lived in Texas. We don't know anybody. And my husband was at work. I took the car to get an estimate to fix the brakes. And they said $500. And you know, okay, $500 is a lot. But back then it was like quadruple the amount.
Yeah.
And so I was like, $500? I was like, we're going to get $500 to fix the brakes. Okay, they're making noise and everything. And so what I did was, we lived by a Pep Boys or something, not a Pep Boys, but like an AutoZone. So it's like a mile away. Put the boys, I had 2 kids at the time. I'm 19 years old. I put them in the stroller, walk all the way about a mile to the AutoZone. I tell the guy, I need to change my brakes. He goes, okay, well, where's your... Anyway, guys, I ended up walking 2 times up there to get instructions from the guy that worked there. Tell me how to change the brakes. I need the pieces. This is what my car is. Tell me. 2 times I had to walk up there, change the brakes by myself. Till this day, I don't even think my husband cares. Like, he's so used to this. I made a wreath today, a funeral wreath that normally most people would be just in awe about. My husband told me, it's kind of boring. I was like, this guy just thinks, I don't know, he just thinks I'm like, I just do these things for fun. But yeah, he's my biggest critic. I don't even think he made a big deal. My family to this very day talk about the brakes. Yeah. Remember the brakes you changed? Okay guys, no YouTube, no nothing. This was just like, tell me what to do. And he was like, well, you gotta do this, bleed the brakes. I'm like, bleed the brakes? What is that? I mean, I learned everything. He told me, ran down, did some of it, ran back up with my 2 kids and said, okay, I did this now. What do I do next? He goes, wow. He goes, here, now you gotta put these on. And so I was like, okay. Ran back down, did it. Yeah, I mean, when I think about it now, I'm like, man, I am like crazy, but I did it for under $100.
Yeah, I always tell people it's amazing what you can do when you don't have a choice.
No, and that's probably what it is. You know what I mean? And so every day, you know, I make this choice to want to be this person, better, bigger, stronger, you know, and show people that anybody can do it. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of how I feel. And I got no problem sharing it or telling people, not so much bragging about it, because there's nothing to brag about. I'm doing everyday things just like a mom with 5 kids. Yeah. You know, how do you do it? Then you just do it. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Well, we got like 2 minutes left. Is there anything else that you want to...
No, man, I almost shared my whole life in a nutshell. I mean, yeah, no, this was great. You know, I'm always wanting to help others that are interested, business-minded, that want to, you know, move ahead. I know that my sister just helped a couple people start their own businesses, just getting their name registered and getting them started. And I thought that is such a common sense procedure. Like,
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's not at all.
And I didn't realize it. And I'm talking, these are people that have degrees. People who are very educated.
Right.
And I was shocked to know that you need help. Like, I mean, it's right there. And Summer did it for them, and it was really cute, and they were really happy. And I thought, wow, that's what stopped you from getting a business?
Yeah.
You know, so, I don't know. That's my contribution to this world, I guess, is all my endeavors.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna stop. Not yet.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much to all of our presenters. We appreciate you, and we plan on having more of these, so stay tuned, and we have some more exciting things planned. But thank you and have a good night.